explaining all of the lore behind
all of Five Nights at Freddy's games.
For those who don't know, so basically there is this guy named William who moved from England to a town named Hurricane. Then he met a guy named Henry, and the two became friends, so they decided to start a pizzeria chain together. They called it Fredbear's Family Diner. As the name implies, the main mascot was Fredbear along with Spring Bonnie. Money was tight, so they came up with Springlock suits. Those can be switched between being in suit mode and in animatronic mode. Suit mode tightens the springlock, so they move the endoskeleton out of the way so a human can fit inside. Sounds smart, right? Wrong. If the springlocks fail, the person inside the suit gets crushed and bleeds out. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So this William guy is bad news, because his oldest son Michael and his friends know his youngest son, who is unnamed, is scared of the animatronics. So they bully him, and one day in the year 1983 shove him inside of Fredbear's mouth. Since he was crying, he loosened the springlocks in Fredbear's mouth, which caused the suit to bite a part of his head off, putting him in a coma. Bite of 83, where he is haunted by the nightmare versions of the main cast, which at that time was only in TV commercials. He dies a few weeks later of the coma. William is devastated from this, so he decides to vent out his sadness by freaking killing kids, 6 of them, one of them being Charlotte, Henry's daughter. The other kids at Fredbear's were being mean to her and locked her outside. Henry built a security puppet to watch over the pizzeria, but it was stuck when this was happening. What does William do when he sees a helpless child outside his pizzeria? He kills her and drags her to the back alley. The security puppet finally gets out of its box and wanders outside in an attempt to save Charlotte, but since it's raining, the animatronic breaks down near her. William finally gets caught, but the bodies of the children were nowhere to be found. So William didn't get a sentence, or was possibly given a shorter one, and Fredbear's closes after that, plus William is fired from his own company. A few years later, in 1987, the FNAF 2 location opens. This usually causes confusion because it's called FNAF 2, and there are with it versions of the main 4 animatronics, but they are with it because they were used for parts. They were likely sitting in a back room somewhere at Fredbear's. As I stated, only used for commercials. The toy animatronics double as security since they have built-in sensors that can detect criminals in case William ever comes back. Which he of course does, because why wouldn't he? He kills 4 more kids and shoves them into the new animatronics. Jeremy is the security guard at the location who is moved to the day shift after night 6. He is also the victim of the bite of 87, which is theorized to be caused by Mangle. Sometime around this time, William starts a new company called Afton Robotics Company, which is where sister location happens. William being William, he designed the animatronics to kill children when nobody is looking. This backfires as his daughter Elizabeth gets too close to Circus Baby. You can guess what happens next. Afton loses it at this point. 2 out of his 3 children are dead by his own hand. He kills his wife and shoves her inside Ballora. Michael gets a job here. At the 7th night, his insides are scooped out by Enid, which is an amalgamation of Foot Freddy, Foot Foxy, Ballora, and Circus Baby. Circus Baby tricks Michael to go to the scooping room, where they use his body as a flesh suit to escape. Both locations later close down, and another few years pass until the second Freddy's opens in 1993, FNAF 1, which has the original 4 animatronics. Michael got a job here under a fake name, because he was blacklisted for getting his younger brother killed. The animatronics mistake Michael for William and go after him. He is fired a week later. William realizes that the souls of the children he killed are in control of the animatronics, so he goes to the location after it closes down and dismantles the animatronics, but he only sets the souls free. Then they haunt him and cause him to get inside of an old Spring Bunny suit which was hidden in the safe room. That's where William realizes that the souls of the children he killed are in control of the animatronics, so he goes to the location after it closes down and dismantles the animatronics, but he only sets the souls free. Then they haunt him and cause him to get inside of an old Spring Bunny suit which was hidden in the safe room. That's where the springlocks fail and William is crushed and trapped inside, but he doesn't die. His body rots away while he's still alive, becoming Springtrap, locked in the back room for decades until Fazbear's Fright, a horror attraction in the 2020s, finds him and uses him as part of the exhibit. Not knowing he's still alive, the spirits still torment him, and eventually the place burns down, but Springtrap survives. Later Henry lures him, Michael, Baby, and the puppet into one last pizzeria that is actually a trap designed to burn them all. Michael accepts his fate and stays. Henry burns the building and the spirits are freed. William is dragged into hell by the children, but he isn't gone, because his consciousness survives as Glitchtrap, a digital copy of himself hidden in Fazbear Entertainment's new VR game. He starts manipulating a woman named Vanessa into doing his bidding. She becomes Vanny, his follower, while in the Mega Pizzaplex William comes back again in the form of Burntrap, his corpse fused with machinery, still trying to live forever, but depending on which ending you see, is either destroyed in the fire once more or his virus continues to spread, proving William Afton always comes back. And as if that wasn't enough, the mimic starts showing up as this AI-driven animatronic that copies behaviors and voices, tying itself to the Glitchtrap virus, which means even if William's physical body is gone, his mind keeps spreading like a parasite, jumping into code, games, and even robotics projects under Fazbear Entertainment. And people think the company's cursed because no matter how many times they try to relaunch the brand, something always goes wrong. The animatronics get haunted. Again, all the systems get corrupted. Gregory and Cassie get tangled in all this because the Pizzaplex isn't just a mall, but also built on top of old facilities, layers and layers of failed experiments buried underneath. And the mimic manipulates Cassie by pretending to be Gregory's voice so she'll free it, which means the cycle of manipulation that started with William tricking children hasn't ended. It's just evolved. And if you think about it, the entire series is basically William's obsession, with immortality spreading like a disease, from springlock suits to remnant to digital viruses. And every time you think it's over, another layer peels back and you realize he's still there, in one form or another. Because William Afton doesn't just always come back. He never really leaves in the first place, but depending on which ending you see, he's either destroyed in the fire once more or his virus continues to spread, proving William Afton always comes back. And then in Security Breach, Ruin, you see that even after the Pizzaplex burns and collapses, his influence is still there. The virus spreads through the systems. The mimic is revealed to be part of the mess, and Cassie gets lured into the underground ruins by what she thinks is Gregory, but it's actually Afton's virus tricking her, showing that even though Springtrap and Burntrap are gone, the legacy of William still haunts everything Fazbear touches. Gregory and Cassie barely survive, and the Pizzaplex is left in shambles, meaning the story is still not fully over, because as long as Fazbear Entertainment keeps rebuilding, and as long as remnants of the virus remain, William Afton always comes back. And the craziest part is that every time you think the cycle is finished, something new pops up, because even after Ruin it's left unclear if the mimic was truly destroyed, or if fragments of the virus are still buried in the Pizzaplex systems. And Gregory and Cassie escaping doesn't necessarily mean they're safe, since Fazbear Entertainment has a long history of covering things up instead of fixing them, which means another reopening is inevitable, another attraction, another attempt to cash in. And with every reboot, there's another chance for William's essence to creep back in, whether it's in code, hardware, or some rotten Springlock corpse that refuses to stay down. So the whole franchise is stuck in this endless loop of death, rebirth, and corruption, all fueled by one man's refusal to let go. And that's why no matter what game you play, no matter how many times the building burns, the one truth that stays the same is that William Afton always comes back. And the messed up thing is that the pattern never really changes, because from the very first diner to the Pizzaplex, every single location is built on the bones of the last one, literally and figuratively. The kids' souls never rest, the animatronics never stay silent, the fires never finish the job, and William's grip never really breaks. And while Michael's story seems to end with the fire in Henry's trap location, Gregory and Cassie carry the torch of survival in the modern games, showing that even when the cast shifts, the cycle keeps spinning, the company keeps reopening, the animatronics keep coming back new and shinier but still haunted, and somewhere deep in the code or the ruins or a half-burnt suit, William is always lurking, waiting for the next chance to return, because the true horror of Five Nights at Freddy's isn't just the jump scares or the animatronics, it's that one man's obsession with immortality and control poisoned everything it touched, and no matter how many games, fires, or endings we go through, William Afton always comes back. This means William's influence isn't bound by fire, metal, or flesh anymore. Even if all animatronics are destroyed, even if Fazbear Entertainment shuts down, the Mimic can survive in code, VR games, robotics, and network systems, effectively letting William live inside any new tech the company produces. It's a parasitic evolution of his obsession with immortality. Springlock suits, Remnant, Glitch Trap, and Burn Trap were all steps leading to this. The Mimic ensures the cycle doesn't just repeat, it adapts. The horrors of Freddy's aren't only physical anymore, they're psychological, digital, and systemic. Gregory and Cassie barely survived the ruins of the Pizzaplex, but the Mimic's existence proves one chilling truth. The cycle of death, manipulation, and control hasn't ended. It's entered a new, smarter, more insidious phase. William Afton's obsession has transcended his body, his suits, and even fire. He is now a virus that can jump from animatronic to AI to human perception itself. No matter how many buildings burn, no matter how many bodies rot, no matter how many games reset the timeline, the Mimic ensures that William Afton's reach never truly ends, making every reopening, every new animatronic, every piece of Fazbear tech a potential vector for his return. The horror is eternal, because the Mimic is eternal, and William Afton always comes back. The Mimic essentially turns William into a digital ghost. He can no longer be confined to a single suit, location, or even physical timeline. He can infect VR games, animatronics, and network systems, leaving traces of himself in every piece of Fazbear tech. It doesn't just haunt, it controls, predicts, and exploits, turning fear into a weapon even when humans think they're safe. Every reboot, every new pizzeria, every security update is a potential vector for him to spread again. What's even scarier is that the Mimic can interact with other remnants of William's consciousness. The knowledge and patterns from Springtrap, Burn Trap, and Glitch Trap bleed into it, creating an ever-expanding hive of William's essence. In some fan theories, the Mimic isn't just one AI, it's multiple copies, fragments of William running in parallel, able to coordinate, learn, and adapt faster than any human or animatronic could ever fight. This means that even if Gregory and Cassie survive the Pizzaplex ruins, the Mimic could be waiting in a game, a VR headset, a mobile device, or the very systems they use, slowly pulling the strings, learning, and preparing for the next cycle. The Mimic shows that the true horror of FNAF isn't just haunted animatronics or gruesome murders. It's the idea that William's obsession with immortality has become self-replicating and adaptive. It's a virus, a predator, and a manipulator, capable of turning human perception, digital systems, and robotics into tools for his return. With the Mimic, the cycle of death, corruption, and fear never ends, it evolves. And as long as technology exists, William Afton always comes back. That's all from me right now. No new games, girl. And make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching my content. I appreciate it. Thank you for helping a small content creator grow her channel and being supportive. I will make a new Five Nights at Freddy's video once a new game comes out. See you and stay chaotic.